There was a creed, a sort of secular creed that other people may have seen it before. I've referenced it in sermons. It was a woman wrote about how I am my own, and it just went through I am special and everything about me, and it just the whole refrain was an I am my own. It was sort of a celebration of personal identity, self-esteem, human uniqueness. And I doubt that the person who wrote it had ever read the Heidelberg Catechism, but it almost sounded like an anti-Heidelberg Catechism question and answer 1, which is, of course, what is your only comfort in life and in death? That I am not my own, but belong in body and soul to my faithful Savior, Jesus Christ. That might be the place to start with countercultural advice. I am not my own. Because from that flows, if not everything else, almost everything else. If you start with, I am my own, therefore, my self-expression is sacred. I am my own means what I do with my body is my business. If you start with, I am not my own, then some of your desires, it means, need to be crucified rather than celebrated. If you're not your own, but you belong to Christ, then, as 1 Corinthians said, you must glorify God with your body. That's one of the most countercultural verses. Your body is given not for your self-expression, but for God's glorification. So simply to say, I am not my own, but I belong to Jesus would be really countercultural. And then I think, we know this as Christians, to love our neighbors as ourselves. What could be more obvious than that? And yet, when you think of the ramifications of what it means that my life is lived ultimately for the sake of others and even beyond others in this life for God. We know that as Christians, and yet don't most of us, when we think about our lives, we think about ourselves as the center of what's going on. I think somebody asked me that one time. When you think about your life, you are the main character. You never think about your life as a supporting actor or actress in someone else's story. No, everyone else is a supporting actor or actress in your story, of which you are the main principal character. And how countercultural to realize God may have us on this earth for a story that is not mainly our story, but is for some other person, some other group, some other church, someone else, and ultimately for God's story is to give us, hopefully not discouragement, but real freedom to go and live a life that makes a difference for God, writing His own story, writing our own story on His own terms.